In today's video, the drought that snuck up on us and is endangering the garden, transforming Brianna's side yard into another beautiful flower bed to get these plants in the ground, and the issue we ran into with this potted soil. While we raced to get these plants in the ground before, they're just not even worth planting. Starting into vermiculture for the very first time. Look at those. And the new yard item that Brianna got that is entertaining the kids and making everything easier.
Okay, so here we are. This is the hottest day of the year so far, and it is 89 degrees, the hottest temperature. I know that's not hot for some of you guys, but it feels hot.
Well, it's hot for this time of year for us.
The first thing we're gonna do here is cut back to last night when we ran into a big problem with this potting soil. Brianna went out and bought.
It wasn't potting soil. Honk honk. It was garden soil. Garden soil. Well, what would you think it would be if it was garden soil?
You bought garden soil, you have these plants, they have to get in the ground. They're just plugs, they can't just sit out. And you're like, all right, we're ready. And then you weren't. So we're gonna cut to last night when we figured that out and show you what the problem is. Brianna is perturbed, why?
Because the garden soil that I bought looks like mulch and I'm not sure. What do I do? Soil.
So that's an obvious reason why you're buying it. But this, it's almost entirely a wood-based product.
See, this is soil.
That's the other stuff you bought.
Yeah, and I didn't want to buy this because this is going to be flowers and that other stuff is so expensive.
It's clearly labeled as garden soil.
And not only that, I read the reviews. Like, I read reviews on all the different ones they have.
What did the reviews say?
Well, some reviews on some products were like, this thing, just don't buy this. It's nothing but mulch. But this one didn't say that. What do I do? I mean, it'll be fine next year. But like, if I put everything in it this year and it all dies.
I don't know.
Just try planting one thing and see later.
Well, the problem is I need to plant my plants. They're just little tiny plants and they need to go in the ground.
How many bags did you buy?
20. So I know Arthur gave you a brief shot of why I have to buy soil, but this is clay. But that is why I bought so many bags, because I need this to be inches deep to provide any sort of actual growing medium for my plants. And even then, it may not work this year. My whole garden was this, and in just 1 year, I have changed it. It's still this about, well, it depends on where in the garden. Some places it's probably 6 or more inches of good soil now. In some places it's just a couple inches. So should we just return it? This is what happens when I try to do something new. It's like, I was trying to save money since this is a flower bed, not a vegetable bed. And I was thinking, like, I don't want to spend what I usually spend on those big yellow bags. This was about $100 cheaper. And that's what I get. I do have some veggie mix soil left, but I was saving that to fill some new raised beds I have. Just cut it. You a knife? I got here.
Do I have a knife? Are you wilting like a flower, truly? Soil?
Sad.
And we'll put it right up here.
One that goes right here. You can't be in that.
You want it to rain? No. You want to come with Friday inside and it to rain?
I think we figured out a solution. Just mixing this stuff with the clay is actually working. We just have to make sure we chop the clay up into tiny little pieces, which is a lot of work. This one you can't even do it. I mean, it's just, oh, maybe I'll get that one. But it's a lot of work. Like, even with the shovel, it just breaks into these bigger chunks, so. This may not make sense. My original plan was to just broad fork, well, was to mattock this whole area, but then that was way too hard. So I thought, well, I'll just broad fork it and create space in the clay for the roots, and I'll just put soil on top and plant into the soil. And every year I'll add more compost, and then over time the soil will become really good. But then that stuff I got wasn't really soil. So now we're just mixing it into the clay, and I think it's going to work that way. Do you want me to wet that area? This is why they've got to be planted. See, they're getting root bound. They're just tiny. There's almost no soil left. I have to water them 3 times a day to keep them happy.
What are you ladies cooking?
Pie.
What kind of pie?
Lemon meringue, lemon curd pie.
Did you make meringue?
Not yet.
Oh, the meringue goes on top?
Yeah. I don't want lemon.
Julie, you helping?
Yeah.
Nice job washing dishes.
That one probably not.
You've been watering them literally 3 times a day because the plugs are so small.
I know.
And sometimes the back wasn't getting 100% watered.
Okay, thank you.
How many did you pick and eat?
A lot. There were a lot more that we saved for you, but we're all got hungry. Mom, you want some?
We're getting closer. At least on this one little section. It's a lot of landscaping that needs to be done. And it's a lot of really bad soil and a lot of rocks to move. So it's gonna take time. But the reason I wanna do this is because I do think the rocks are pretty, but I love flowers. And so I would really love to have perennials all around the house, anywhere I can have them. Echinacea is a perennial. Calendula is actually not a perennial, but it's a self-seeding annual, and it's very easy to grow. Calendula I have is a mix, so it'll be orange, yellow, and cream. So that with the contrast of the purple echinacea. I wish I had a mix of echinacea. That would be really cool, but I just have the purpura, so it's just purple. But that, in contrast to the orange, yellow, and cream, is just going to be gorgeous. I'm not sure that the calendula will get super big this year, but it should at least flower and drop seed. And then next year when it comes back, it should be amazing. And then I don't know what the echinacea is gonna do. Because I have echinacea right now in my other perennial garden that's flowering. So I don't know if it will. We'll see. This is beautiful. Did you make that?
Mom, what's that?
Truly.
Mom, what's
Those are my gloves. I have a question. Did you make that pie? Hey, did you make the pie?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you help her? Yeah.
She helped me.
She helped you. Did you guys help each other make the pie? Truly, are you excited to try it? I can't wait to eat it too. Thank you. Oh gosh, look at mommy. I better not touch anything. That's my handprints from my glove. Hey Truly, what kind of pie is it?
Yummy.
It's yummy. Do you, and it's your birthday?
Not your birthday yet.
It will be soon.
All right, so next I'm gonna show you this thing that Bree got for the kids that is making her life easier, and it's just, I mean,
We got a trampoline. You can jump, go ahead.
What I do?
Oh, I love that ladder. We got a trampoline, and I actually said I would never get one, but I really like this one. I like it because it's not that big, so like 20 kids can't be on it, which was something that stressed me out with trampolines. So this is the 12-foot in-net round, so like it has this net, and this safety net really makes me feel better about having a trampoline. It's also pretty low to the ground. Like maybe it comes up to the bottom of my hip. And then it also has, oh, are you having fun? It also has this padding here that covers the springs, which I've seen lots of trampolines that don't have that and don't have this net, and it's super stressful to me. But one of my favorite things is this ladder. The twins can get up and down super easy. Of course, the kids love it. This has been this summer's hit toy. They come out here every day and play on it. They haven't stopped having fun on it. We have some really specific rules to keep it safe, like no double bouncing. And I actually feel like because this trampoline isn't quite as big, it doesn't bounce quite as high, which, Mom, you're no fun. But I've had way too many friends have accidents on trampolines. Also, the poles that hold it up are padded, which I like because if the kids get too crazy and they bump into that, it's not gonna hurt them. Grace and Joyful mostly put it together. I helped a little bit. We did it in an afternoon. I reached out to the company AOTOB, and they are actually giving me a discount for you guys, $20 off. I will put the link to the website below here and you guys can check that out. They make all different sizes of trampolines, and also it's a pretty simple code. It's just BRE20. This is really one of the ways I've gotten a lot of garden work done this summer, is that trampoline.
So the next thing we're gonna do is skip to where we set up the vermicomposting system to make worm castings for the garden. We did this the other day. We're gonna skip to that now. Appreciate it.
What is it, Daddy?
Worms.
How many?
At least 500.
What? I want to see 500 worms.
All right, we got worms here, a worm bin here. We got a sick girly here. Where is it? Right there.
Oh, it's right there.
I've never done this before, so we're gonna be carefully following the user manual. Page 2, introductions. Congratulations on your purchase of the Vermihut Plus, and welcome to the world of vermicomposting. This actually wasn't a purchase, this was actually a very kind gift from a viewer. I'm not gonna use her last name, but it was Sarah E. So thank you so much to Sarah E. The worms have been in this box for up to 4 days, and they really probably don't want to be in there anymore. So we're gonna get their bedding set up, then we'll open it up and see what's in the box. Got that fly. This bin has a cool design which allows the worms to move up, because they naturally move up into the new food sources you're putting in, and leaves worm-free worm castings over weeks and months. Eggshells, dried grasses, and leaves. And occasionally blend the worm food to speed up the process. Add some grit to the working trays to help the worms digest their food. That's a magnet, goes on the fridge. Place the coconut core in 4 or 5 cups of water. We'll start with 4 cups. You can open this up. Potter, I have a job for you. I need you to go get me a bowl full of leaves that we're gonna add to their bedding. Bucket. And then pour that water on it. It's cool to watch, isn't it?
Look.
How long has it been? Like less than 5 minutes. It's soaked up all the water and it's starting to expand.
Not all of it, but most of it.
Almost all of it though. All right, here's some leaves that Mr. Wilder just collected for us. All right, break those up, crush those up, okay? In addition to the coconut core, you can add garden soil, moist shredded newspaper or paper, shredded cardboard, egg cartons, crushed eggshell, and dry leaves or brown grass. I might need to add some more water. I'm gonna add the garden soil mix. Is that something you would want to live in?
Yeah, probably.
You want your bedding moist but not soaking wet. All right, worms need grit, and eggshells can be a source of grit, but there's a lot of sand and minerals in the native dirt and the garden soil. You can only push right in the middle and straight down, okay? There you go. Good job. That's fun, isn't it? I like that sound. We're gonna put some of those eggshells into our worm bedding, and the rest we'll put into this jar. And we'll add some vinegar. It'll start bubbling right away. We'll set that aside with my gardening stuff. Those are carbon dioxide bubbles, and it's pressurized in there. We'll leave that lid off, but watch what happens when I pop it. Look how it's like a carbonated drink, basically. All right, I'm gonna put the lid on loose on that until it becomes less active, and put it with my other stuff. Oh, this is still too dry. We need more water in here. Okay, we're gonna combine the coconut core and then the bedding material that we assembled together and work on the moisture content a little bit. What is it, baby? We're gonna wash it all, okay, I promise. All right, the next step is take one of the trays, there are 5 trays in your kit, and line the bottom of the tray with a piece of cardboard or 4 or 5 pieces of newspaper. I bet you would like this part, Truly. You can use the little rake. Alright, good job. You're done? Okay. And I'll show you the moisture content of the bedding. I'm gonna grab a nice handful. I'm gonna squeeze it as hard as I can. And there's the few drops if when I squeeze it really hard. I think that's good. It feels moist, but it doesn't feel wet. That's all the strawberries we're gonna feed them initially. All right, and then we'll sprinkle some, just a little bedding on it. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. I know you have, and you. It says that they deliberately dehydrate the worms when they come. They're not bone dry, obviously, or they'd be dead. But they can lose 70% of their body mass in a 3 to 5 day trip. This is a pack of 500 worms. We definitely could have put 1,000 in this size bin, or even maybe 1,500. Excited to see what is in here. Plastic bag? Or are they just, oh, they're just loose inside this bag. Just as you count them as they come out of the bag.
What?
You see them?
Yeah.
They're tiny. They are moving, so they can. Red wiggler worms are quite small compared to night crawlers.
Vermiculture doesn't end up in.
You think there's 500 in there, guys? Let's carefully look a little bit and just see. Yeah, I mean, there's a solid mass
Can I
of,
hold
it's
them?
at least, there's got to be 500.
Yes.
Wow, they actually look really great. Oh, they look really, really good.
Bobby should hold them.
Look at those worms. All right. You know what's really interesting about the worms? There's actually a special plastic cover because they say when they get here, they're really restless and they'll just escape. So you have to put this special cover on and then leave a bright light on so they stay down in the bedding. I don't even claim to understand worm psychology, but I'm really curious, what does that mean that they're restless? Like, do they feel at home later? We're not gonna handle them anymore. We're gonna let them do their thing. And I'm just gonna spread out their bedding a little because they're so dry. Their bedding comes dry on purpose. I'm gonna just leave the camera running for a few minutes. Don't touch it, guys, because you'll shake my shot. And let's just watch them work their way down.
I can see that if you have already been trying to escape, those are the closest to getting out.
I'm gonna put you in charge of naming them. Let me know when you're done.
Scooty doody 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 doody.
We could name them all Duty because that's what we're looking for is worm castings. All right, there's only 2 more steps in the setup process. One is covering the bedding with some paper. Just moisten this slightly. The worms, as is, their setup is done. And we won't do anything with them for 3 to 4 days when we'll check and see if they need more food.
And that's as far as he got. Rail said, I want to come in the garden too. It's finishing up down here. And although this is one of my favorite things to do in the evening, what I'm about to do, it's not my most favorite. I will show you my most favorite thing. Here he comes. So I am watering my most recent finished bed of flowers. These are scabiosa, and then down at the end is straw flower. They've been really struggling with the intense heat and no rain. So I've been putting shade cloth on those and on that bed down there, and that bed is really struggling. My beautiful pumpkins have come up. These are gourds that I'm watering right now. There has been no rain in weeks. I think we talked earlier about that it hasn't rained and the temperatures have been really high for the area that we live in, and it has been brutal for the garden. I really haven't seen a whole lot of suffering in the garden until yesterday and today. So the plants are starting to really suffer because there's just nothing like rain in a garden. Like you can only do so much with a hose, even soaker hoses, though I do think that would be more ideal than just using like a garden hose. Even my poor little, look at my poor little cantaloupe. I watered it this morning, but everything is just miserably dry. Does that make you happy? Anyway, we are watering as much as we can, but it's starting to not be enough. It's heartbreaking to see my gardens struggle because of no rain, because I worked really, really hard on it, and I love it so much. What do you want to do?
Go play duck.
You want to go play trucks?
No, I go play duck. I play duck.
Were you saying you wanted to water the dirt? That's the part we want you to water. Can you water the watermelons right beside you though?
The watermelon.
Yeah, they really need it. They're struggling a little bit.
The watermelon.
Right beside you, right here. They're just not watermelons yet. But see all the flowers? All the yellow flowers on them? They will be watermelons. Water the soil though, not the plant, okay? What is it?
A snapdragon.
A snapdragon? Show it to me.
A snapdragon flower.
A snapdragon flower?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You gonna get me with it? I love you.
Dad, can you turn this into a time lapse?
This is actually my favorite part of the evening. You coming? Go!